1.
Good morning. I'm County Judge Richard F. Cortez, Chairman of the Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1. On March the 16th of 2020, Governor Greg Abbott granted a request by the Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton to temporarily suspend a limited number of open meeting laws to the extent necessary to allow telephonic or video conference meetings in response to the COVID-19 matter. In accordance with those suspended rules, notice of this meeting of the Board of Directors of Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1 has been posted online for at least 72 hours. Although members of the board are not gathered in a central physical location, we will have a quorum in attendance at this meeting by video conference or telephone call. The board is meeting by the use of Zoom software and telephone transmission, which allows two-way communications for members of the public during the public participation forum. This meeting is being broadcast live online. As we would any other in-person meeting, members of the public who have followed the instructions on the meeting notice will be permitted to participate in the public forum portion of the agenda. If you would like to participate in the public forum at a future meeting conducted by video conference or telephone call, please follow the instructions that are posted on the meeting notice. All other meeting procedures will adhere to the board adopted procedures to the extent possible. We apologize in advance for any unforeseen technical difficulties and ask for your patience as we navigate through these unprecedented conditions. The time is now 7:47, and we will begin with a roll call with precinct number 1.
David Fuentes, precinct 1.
Joe Flores, precinct 3.
Ellie Torres, precinct 4.
Richard Cortez, County Judge. That constitutes a quorum. Mr. Cecile, would you please lead us in prayer?
Yes, sir. Certainly will. Let us pray. Father God, we give you thanks for another day to allow us to serve, Lord. We continue to pray for our board and board commissioners, Lord, that you appointed, Lord. We continue to lift them up to you. Continue to provide them with your wisdom, Lord. Continue to provide them with all your guidance, Lord. Continue to provide them with your peace, Lord, and to continue to make the decisions that affect us all, Lord. Continue to pray for all the sick in our county, Lord, for all the first responders in our county as well, Lord, and in our state and our nation, Lord, and our world. Continue to ask for your healing hand upon them, Lord, and your guidance hand upon them, Lord, and continue to provide just through you, Lord. I know that all is in your hands, Lord. Continue to ask for your blessing upon our county, our state, and our nation, Lord. I ask this in your son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Did anyone sign up for open forum?
Not for drainage, Judge.
Okay. Then we'll go on to the approval of the consent agenda.
Yes, sir. On the consent agenda, we just have some permits and some contract extensions and payment of invoices. Everything's in order for approval. Recommend approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. 5A.
Yes, sir. Finally, requesting approval of closing documents parcel 12-2 as it relates to project 12, the 2018 drainage bond program 493 and country road project. An authority for the chairman of the board to execute documents subject to final legal review.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We do need to
We
go.
do have some items in closed session, Judge.
Okay. Pursuant to subchapter D of chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, we will be retiring to executive session or closed session, this is called, to discuss items that are so listed on code section 551.072 and 551.074. I have a motion to retire to executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 We're moving into closed session. Okay, we're back from closed session. Just to clear the record, make sure that that I said the right thing. The meeting started at 9:47 this morning, and Commissioner Cantu joined us at 9:51. Mr. Singh, do we have any action?
7A, 7A, no action. 7B, Ivan?
Yes,
Anyone?
under possible action on claim by Michael Blanchard, DBA, the Blanchard Law Firm, in connection with appeal work. Mr. Blanchard is making a claim for $6,982.50 and asking if the board is so inclined for a motion to approve that.
I have a motion to approve. We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Great.
Is that it? I think.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That concludes all of our.
Everyone have a good day. Thank you.
I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Okay, good morning, everyone, again. I'm County Judge Richard F. Cortez. And again, on March the 16th of 2020, the Governor, Greg Abbott, granted a request by the Texas Attorney General, Ken Paxton, to temporarily suspend a limited number of open meeting laws to the extent necessary to allow telephonic or video conference meetings in response to this COVID-19 matter. In accordance with those suspended rules, notice of this meeting for Hidalgo County Commissioners Court has been posted online for at least 72 hours. Although members of the commission are not gathered in a central physical location, we will have a quorum in attendance at this meeting by video conference or telephone call. The commission is meeting by the use of Zoom software and telephone transmission, which allows two-way communication for members of the public during the public participation forum. This meeting is being broadcast live online. As we would at any other in-person meeting, members of the public who have followed the instructions on the meeting notice will be permitted to participate in the public forum portion of the agenda. If you would like to participate in public forum at a future meeting conducted by video conference or telephone call, please follow the instructions on the posted meeting notice. All other meeting procedures will adhere to the board adopted procedures to the extent possible. Again, we apologize in advance for any unforeseen technical difficulties and ask for your patience as we navigate through this unprecedented conditions. The time is now 10 minutes after 10, and we will begin with a roll call with precinct number 1 commissioner. We need everyone off mute.
David Fuentes, Precinct 1.
Eddie Cantu, Precinct 2.
Joe Flores, Precinct 3.
Ali Torres, Precinct 4.
Richard Cortez, County Judge, that constitutes a quorum. Please join me now for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Join me in prayer. Dear Lord, as COVID-19 affects our world, we continue to pray. Amidst our fear, uncertainty, grief, anger, frustration, and more, we invite you in, Lord. We pray for people who are experiencing symptoms of COVID-19 and for the family and medical staff who surround them with care. We pray for those who are the most vulnerable to the disease, whether from underlying health conditions or other contributing factors. May they rest in your peace and protection. We pray for healthcare workers and people on the front lines of this disease, for workers who are in essential roles to keep our communities going, keep them healthy, keep them safe. We pray for our leaders. May they be guided by your wisdom. May they be courageous and make bold decisions necessary to end this pandemic. We also pray for our two fallen McAllen police officers, Edelmiro Garza Jr. and Officer Ismael Chavez Jr. Dear Lord, may you watch over their families during this difficult time. Grant them peace and love as they mourn the loss of their loved ones. Watch over their fellow McAllen police officers as they continue to protect our community. At this time, I would like to take a moment of silence for Officers Garza and Chavez. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the consent agenda.
Judge, Commissioners, with your permission, I would like to pull from consent agenda items 9A, 1 and 2, and 10I.
Make a motion to approve the rest of the consent.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for the remainder of the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners, consent agenda item 9A, 1 and 2. For the record, Commissioner Fuentes will be abstaining from any discussion and/or action.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Let the record show that Commissioner Fuentes abstained from any voting or discussion.
Thank you. Judge, Commissioners, consent agenda item 10I. For the record, this will be subject to the receipt of the grantor extension.
Moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Lopez, for item 5, open forum, do we have any participants?
Yes, sir. Let me bring in Clarissa Conde. 695. Okay, she's here now.
Ms. Conde? Hello? Ms. Conde, can you hear us?
Yes.
There is a
I
3-minute.
can.
Yes, ma'am. There is a 3-minute time limit on any discussion on any agenda item. I will begin. I will advise when there is 1 minute left, and I will begin when you begin, ma'am.
Okay. So I will receive a 1-minute warning.
Go ahead.
Hello and good morning, Hidalgo Commissioner Court. My name is Clarissa Conde, and I live in Mission, Texas, and I am a part of Precinct 3. I am also a deputy field organizer with Texas Rising. I am calling to expand the access to vote by mail. I'm here to advocate that the county pass a budget that will allow the elections administration to mail out vote by mail applications to all county residents 65 and older and those who qualify. I'm doing this because in light of COVID-19, there are many things we cannot control, but what we can do is look at precedent, assess the facts, and do with what's within our power to provide a safer environment for our community. If we look at precedent, the primary election that took place in March was very chaotic and many people felt unsafe. They were forced to choose between exercising their right to vote and protecting themselves from COVID-19. In Wisconsin alone, over 6,000 poll workers stepped down from their duties, and this is understandable considering that the majority of poll workers are over 16 and most vulnerable to COVID-19. Wisconsin citizens faced fearing for their safety and considered voting by other methods that didn't require their physical presence, such as vote by mail applications and absentee ballots. And what resulted was an influx from 150,000 requesting these types of ballots to over 1 million ballots cast, something that the state of Wisconsin was not ready for. I bring up this scenario because we need to keep in mind that we are in the first wave of COVID-19. Scientists, doctors, and medical experts expect an even more deadly and damaging wave in the fall. That needs to be considered along with the fact that during a presidential election, more people go out and vote. So this can foreshadow a chaotic voting process for Texans to vote in November. The Valley just made national news because within the span of 2 weeks, COVID-19 cases increased by 70%.
1 minute.
Texas has the highest uninsured rate of all 50 states, and in the RGV, the uninsured rate is doubled. So many people in Hidalgo have lost a loved one to COVID-19, or they know someone who has. So it is with that I say that the November elections are just around the corner, and we should be preparing. Expanding the ability to vote by mail protects democracy and is something that has been done before, since Texas has voted through wars and natural disasters. I am asking that the Hidalgo Commissioner Court pass a budget that will allow elections administration to mail out vote-by-mail applications to all who qualify, because no Texan should be fearful to engage in the political process and fulfill their constitutional right to vote because they are worried to put their health at risk. Hidalgo Commissioner Court, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Lopez?
Yes, sir. We're bringing in Flores Saldivar. She's in the room now.
Ms. Saldivar?
Commissioner Court.
Yes, I am here.
Hi.
Allow elected administration to mail out.
Ms. Saldivar? Ms. Saldivar,
Yes,
there is
can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. There is a 3-minute time limit. I will advise, or there is a 3-minute time limit on any agenda item. I will advise when there is 1 minute, and I will start when you start.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Hidalgo County Commissioners Court. My name is Flores Saldivar, and I am a resident of Hidalgo County, Precinct 1, under the leadership of David L. Fuentes. And I am also an organizer with Texas Rising in the Rio Grande Valley. I am here today to request the commissioners take action on passing a budget to send eligible seniors over the age of 65 a ballot by mail for the upcoming November election. Voting by mail has proven to be the safest and most secure option for seniors to cast their ballot, especially when many are hesitant to visit their polling locations due to the ongoing threat of the pandemic. Seniors are one of the most at-risk populations in the state, yet each voting cycle, about 67% of seniors vote in Texas. Voting by mail is a nonpartisan issue, and a majority of Hidalgo County residents agree that voting by mail is the best way to keep our senior community safe. As a daughter of 2 seniors myself and family member of medical professionals, I've seen the toll this pandemic has taken on families, and casting a vote safely should not be an added stressor for them. Hidalgo County has not properly informed the community about the option for ballots by mail using the resources available to them, like television, social media pages, or even their website. The only information I could find when searching for vote by mail information was in English, and it was on the county's website. But with only 49% of senior citizens nationwide having access to internet, and likely much, much less in our highly low-income county, it is highly unlikely that this large population of Valley voters, who also do not all speak English, are aware of this great option. If ballots were sent by mail this November, we'd have a more robust democracy in Hidalgo, with constituents that can actually participate in their local elections safely. Once again, my name is Flores Saldivar, and I am here to request that the Commissioners Court pass a budget to send ballots by mail to seniors over the age of 65. Once again, thank you for your time, and I am available for questions, if any.
Thank you, Ms. Saldivar. Mr. Lopez?
Okay, back up, 6 foot. Okay. Good morning.
Ms. Fern?
Yes.
Good morning, Ms. Fern. There is a 3-minute time limit on any agenda item. I will advise when there is 1 minute, and I will begin when you begin, ma'am.
The county wants to set up temporary medical facilities to treat COVID-19 cases. You could use the Aaron Pena Clinic for that. No need to buy or build new buildings. The county has buildings all over the place. Why can't we not use some of those for the COVID-19? Didn't the county a while back get federal funds to build some domes? I believe one was in Mission and another one in Mercedes. These can be used for the temporary medical center for the COVID patients. The domes were built to be used during emergency times. Well, this is an emergency, so why are we not using it? And today we hear two people talk about mail-in ballots. According to the Federal Election Assistance Commission, between 2012 and 2018, 28.3 million ballots, mail-in ballots went missing. Wow. Most people know about Box 13, Precinct 13 out of Alice. The Box 13 scandal occurred in Alice during the Senate election in 1948. Lyndon Baines Johnson was on the verge of losing the election, and yet 6 days after the polls had closed, 202 additional ballots were discovered in Precinct 13, which swung the election decisively in Johnson's favor. He had been in a tight race with Coke Stevenson, and they were in the middle of a runoff. Stevenson was about 854 votes ahead of Johnson during the runoff. Stevenson was even ahead by midday. But after the discovery of the additional ballots, 200 additional voted for Johnson were discovered, leading to his victory by 87 votes out of 1 million. If we're able, the public, to go to Walmart, H-E-B, Lowe's, Home Depot, we certainly can go and vote. They're keeping it clean and everything else. We need to open up our county, our cities, and all of the businesses right now. And we wanted to let everyone know that we stand behind our police departments, all the law enforcement. Not only do we stand behind them, we stand beside them anytime they need us or want us. So we're hoping that people need and want the basic first. All they want, they did not want the 7-story courthouse. They did not want their property values to increase beyond their ability to pay. All the letters that the commissioners and the cities have sent to the governor, why didn't you send a letter trying to help all the property owners in Hidalgo County have their property values lowered to last year's values? But no, we couldn't possibly do that. So we're just wanting you to try to watch out. The people you're making it too heavy on the debt for the people that live here. And we can't take any more and much more of your spending. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Lopez?
That was all we had signed up.
Thank you, sir. Judge?
Okay, item 6A.
Judge, commissioners, with your permission, item 6A is for Judge Noe Gonzalez of 370th District Court, Judge. He's asking authorization to submit a grant application to the Texas Bar Foundation in the amount of $50,000. Judge, commissioners, there is no cash match involved in the submittal of the grant application, the amount of $50,000. And this is intended to assist defendants who had delays in the adjudication of their cases due to the COVID-19 pandemic or were held in the county jail or immigration facilities and need to complete some credit work.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 7A, District Attorney's Office.
Good morning, Commissioners. Judge Rosalinda Cantu presenting for the District Attorney's Office. Item 7A is the DA's Border Prosecution Unit Grant, Fund 1281. We're asking for approval of resolution for the Region 3 Border Prosecution Unit Grant for fiscal year 2020-2021. And we're also requesting approval to designate the county judge as a grantee's authorized official and to sign documents, as well as requesting approval to submit a budget adjustment to the Office of the Governor for the BPU grant.
Move for approval A, 7A, 1, 2, 3.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve 7A, 1, 2, 3. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 8A.
Morning, Judge. Morning, Commissioners. Captain David Friedland, the Sheriff's Office. Under 8A, Part 1, we're requesting approval and authorization for the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office to continue participation in the Texas LASO program.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Part 2, requesting authorization for county judge and county sheriff as authorized officials to sign the required documents.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Under item 8B, Sheriff's Federal Sharing U.S. Treasury Fund 1228, requesting approval of certification of revenues by the county auditor for 2020 equitable sharings received from the Department of Treasury in the amount of $8,668.96 and appropriation of same.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Under 8C, we are requesting authorization and approval to reimburse Norma Alcocer, LVN, the amount of $58 for expenses incurred in webinar training as a requirement for continuing education certification, with authority for county treasurer to issue check after review and auditing procedures are completed by the county auditor.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Item 9A.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Raul Silguero, representing the Department of Human Resources. Item 9A, Judge and Commissioners, are certain waivers that we need to approve so that we can take action on the personnel items that are listed. So it reads, requesting waiver of the following personnel, if applicable, for personnel items listed. 1, Civil Service Commission Rule Section 3.22, Hidalgo County Personnel Policy Manual Section 6.27, and Budget Amendment Policy for personnel-related amendments. If we can take action on the 3 waivers, we can proceed with the personnel items.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 9B for the tax office, approval of the following personnel-related actions effective next full pay period, 7/20/2020. The tax office is asking for certain changes to auto allowances and supplemental pay. The net effect is no change overall. There's just a reassignment of auto allowances among and between employees. The first one is to delete auto allowance from position slot number 021, and the second one is to decrease the supplemental allowance for slot 0025. And then the next 2 is to add auto allowance to slot 128, to create auto allowance for slot 013, and add auto allowance for slot 0230. The net effect is a 0. It's to delete 1 auto allowance, decrease another, and to increase auto and a supplemental to another, and to add auto allowance to another position. No change in the overall cost.
Move for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. Item 9C, CARES Act Relief Fund 1287. This is clarification on an agenda item that the Commissioners Court approved at the last meeting, subject to funding. We have clarified and confirmed that these expenditures are covered under the CARES Act Relief Fund. So we're saying we read clarification on agenda item 76269, approved by Commissioners Court on 7/7/2020, subject to funding, to include the following briefing statement. And the statement reads, discussion, consideration, and action to approve the necessary CARES Act Relief Fund expenditure to cover costs not accounted for in the current budget and cannot be lawfully funded by line item, allotment, or allocation for personnel costs to create 28 COVID-19 Clerk 1 positions, to provide COVID-19 related screening at county facilities, 1 Deputy Emergency Management Coordinator 2, and 1 Administrative Assistant 4 to monitor, request, coordinate and execute emergency resources in order to assist with county actions to facilitate compliance with public health measures addressing the ongoing COVID-19 public health emergency. The court, having reviewed the agenda item briefing, herein finds that such expenditure is reasonable and necessary for the intended use.
Move for approval?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Part two of the item is approval of the intra-departmental transfer.
Move for approval?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item D, 9D, is for the district attorney's office for the civil litigation and the bond forfeiture accounts. The district attorney is asking approval to delete an attorney 4 position, slot 0209 and related slots, and to create a lower level position, assistant district attorney 2, slot 0181, grade 15. So he's deleting a vacant grade 19 position and creating a grade 15 position. We recommend approval.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
That's all I have this morning. Thank you, Judge and Commissioners.
Thank you, Mr. Rivera. Item 10A, Community Service Agency.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Jaime Longoria with the Hidalgo County Community Service Agency. Item 10A is discussion and consideration regarding program updates for the Low-Income Housing and Energy Assistance Program and the Community Services Block Grant for program year 2020. Judge and Commissioners, I just wanted to brief you. This is just it's formal because I put it on the agenda, but it's informal in that I haven't provided you with a written report. But we've reached a milestone in our low-income housing and energy assistance program, and I wanted to bring you all up to date on that. Our contract was for $6.4 million. The contract started in January of 2020 and ran through December of 2020. These funds are our regular program funds that we receive annually to assist the families of Hidalgo County with their utility bills. I'm proud to report that our agency has expended our allocation, our direct service dollars, and it's a milestone for us because we wanted to speed up our delivery of services during the pandemic. So I'm proud to report that beginning February 1st of this year, we started to spend our regular contract, and the direct service dollars were a little over $5 million. It was $5.148 million that we had to spend, and we've spent a little bit over that. Okay, as of today, we've spent $5,132,932.98. So we've fully spent our contract for 2020, and that's good news in this case because as I mentioned to you previously, the state has allocated some funds from a different program, from a program north of us that wasn't able to spend their 2019 dollars, and they've sent us a little over $1.5 million to be able to assist additional families in Hidalgo County. And you couple that with the LIHEAP CARES Fund money that we received. That is not part of the $151 million that the county received. It is an allocation strictly for community action agencies. So we received about $4.6 million in additional funding to help families during this time of the pandemic. So we're in good shape. I'm happy to report that our 2020 contractual obligation to spend that money is done. I'm also happy to report that we helped since March the 13th, the beginning of the pandemic. Our agency has assisted 5,563 households with their utility assistance, and that represents 11,774 individuals who have benefited from our program. These are the elderly, the disabled, families with young children. These are families that are suffering through the pandemic with unemployment issues. Just anybody below that 150% of federal poverty threshold. So we're excited. We're starting to spend those deobligated funds at $1.4 million that we receive going forward. And our program continues to serve families through these two programs, the CSBG program, as well as our LIHEAP program. This is completely separate from the rent and mortgage assistance program that you all have funded. and we've received a little shy of 1,000 applications thus far. A little hiccup is that about 20 to 25% of those applications are what we consider to be viable applications. But certainly, as we get to the 1 month mark under the REMORE program, I'll schedule an update for you all and provide you all with some numbers on that program. But at this point, I'll entertain any questions you might have.
Is it likely or unlikely that we will use all of the amount allocated for that program?
Under this utility assistance program, Judge, I anticipate I'm looking at my other screen now. I'm looking at a December 11th spend out date for these two projects. Now, in the REMORE program, I'll tell you that I'm a little concerned because of the 1,000 applications, more or less, that we've received. About 20 to 25% are viable. In that we filter, of course, the first filter is that they live in the geographic area that we've set up, and that's the rural areas. And we're seeing only about 20 to 25% meet that criteria.
Jaime, do you need any more people or resources?
At this time, Commissioner, because of social distancing and because of training capacity issues, we're full to capacity. We've got. I appreciate that all the precincts have stepped up, and we have satellite offices in each one of the 4 precincts. The judge's office has lent us personnel. The various precincts have lent us personnel, and right now it's a question of finding the space and the training to be able to house all of those folks. So the short answer is, at this present time, not yet, Commissioner.
Okay, well, if you need space, we can find you space also.
Absolutely. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Jaime, I don't have a question. I do have a comment. Actually, I want to commend you and your staff again for all the hard work that y'all put into making sure our constituents who are in need are receiving the services that are available to them. And we just want to thank you sincerely. And I know you all work very hard. And I know we've helped in promoting this program out there. But again, thank you for all you do. Thank you to all your staff. And I hope that we get more applicants for that rental and mortgage program that we have.
I appreciate that, Commissioner. And, I want to reassure the public that we're doing everything we can to get to all of the phone calls. I'll tell you that the phones in this office ring constantly. We do have personnel answering phones and taking care of constituent concerns. I will tell you that our lag time is not something that I'm proud of in terms of once a person submits an application, very often they're not complete. We do have state regulations that we have to abide by. So by the time we vet the application, contact the client, receive the information back, our lag time is not as good as we wish, and sometimes it can be up to 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks before we get that application rolling on our regular program. Our REMORE program, our rent and mortgage assistance program, is a little more is more responsive in terms of more agile in terms of being able to respond. But keep in mind that our first programs were paper-based, so it's been a challenge to get all of those lag times in order. So we're working towards that.
Well, let us know how we can help you promote this. And if there's anything we can do on our social media pages to help you promote and make people aware of what it is that they need so that we don't have that hiccup and that bottleneck and that they're missing items, by all means, let us know. We were ready to assist you.
Yes, thank you. The judge's office reminded me we're about a week in, so I have to be patient, and so we'll see how that goes.
Done a great job, Jaime. Thank you very much for all your help. I know there are a lot of people that need your help in this most critical time. So appreciate all you're doing. Good job to you and your staff.
Thank you so much, Commissioner.
Absolutely, I echo that. Now, Jaime, is the lack of broadband or is broadband an issue in pursuing, qualified people to apply?
Yes, Judge. We're especially, of course, in the rural areas. We do have the phone bank set up at Precinct 3 where they're answering phones and they're taking applications over the phone. So yes, we do know that is an issue. and we're doing everything we can to facilitate that. We're entertaining calls for REMOR even in this office. So we're doing everything we can to make it as easy as we can for people to apply for that particular program. But broadband is an issue. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
If there's
Anyone
any other
else?
questions, may I move on to 10B?
10B.
Yes, sir. It's authorization to extend the interdepartmental transfer from the county's general fund to the Hidalgo County Community Service Agency to be utilized as operational funds to be reimbursed at 90 days after termination of Bravo Zulu grant, which begins July 1st, 2020 and ends June 30th, 2021. Commissioners and Judge, you may recall that every year we ask the court to spot us the initial $80,000. That's half the Bravo Zulu grant. Given that Bravo Zulu is a reimbursement type grant, we need operational funds to get started, and we're just asking to roll over that agreement and to be able to utilize the county's funds to get us off the ground. I'm proud to announce also that we received another allocation of funds for Operation Bravo Zulu. So our veterans, the veterans of Hidalgo County living below 200% of federal poverty are going to be eligible to receive these particular grants.
I know that this is like the third or fourth year that you've done this, and I appreciate all the hard work, especially for the veterans. And I believe this means job well done, right? I mean, it's not only a testament to your staff, but to our veterans for providing us those freedoms. So thank you for doing that. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you,
Thank you
Commissioner.
very much. I mean, great job.
Thank you.
Item 11A, Auditor's Office. You're on mute, Valde.
My apologies. I just realized. If I may start again, for the Auditor's Office, they're asking approval to release the county's audited comprehensive annual financial report, which is our CAFR, single audited management letter for the year ended December 31st, 2019, prior to the acceptance by Commissioners Court. Judge Commissioners, it has not been completed, but in anticipation of the completion and pursuant to the Uniform Guidance 2 CFR 200.512, once the audit is completed and data collected, as well as the reporting package within the audit, it must be submitted within the earlier of 30 calendar days after receipt of the auditor's report or 9 months after the end of the audit period. And so if the due date falls on a Saturday, Sunday, or federal holiday, the reporting package is due the next business day. And so the auditor's office is just asking authority, once the audit is complete and ready to go, to submit so that they can comply with Uniform Guidance 2 CFR 200.512 and then come to Commissioner's Court.
Move for approval.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
Item 12A.
Morning, Judge Commissioner Sergio Cruz, Department of Budget Management. On item 12A, I'm going to ask that we skip over that and come back to it after the CIP workshop. So item 12B, 12B1, discussion, consideration, and action to approve the ratification of necessary CARES Act Relief Fund expenditures as listed on Exhibit A to cover costs not accounted for in the current budget and cannot be lawfully funded by line item, allotment, or allocation in connection with the ongoing COVID-19 public health emergency. The court, having reviewed the agenda item briefing, herein finds that such expenditures are reasonable and necessary for the intended use.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 12B2 is approval of the interdepartmental transfer.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 12C, 1 and 2, is discussion, consideration, and action to approve the ongoing payment of online transaction convenience fees for a period in which the COVID-19 emergency declaration is in effect, as necessary CARES Act Relief Fund expenditures to cover costs not accounted for in the current budget and cannot be lawfully
funded by line item allotment or allocation in connection with the ongoing COVID-19 public health emergency. The court, having reviewed the agenda item briefing, herein finds that such continued expenditure is reasonable and necessary for the intended use, and also the approval of the interdepartmental transfers.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 12D is approval of the following changes as listed on Exhibit A for the Health Zika grant, and these are just grant year changes.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 12E is approval of salary schedule changes as per Exhibit A in accordance with the Hidalgo County Classification and Compensation Pay Plan. And this is for a discretionary step adjustment for a system support specialist at the Elections Department.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Item 12F1 is approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor in the amount of $127,670.86 for Precinct 4 Drainage Improvement Project, labor reimbursements, and appropriation of the same.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And item 12F2 is approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for revenues received from interest earnings from various capital project funds and appropriation of certified funds and available fund balances of said capital project funds. It's a total appropriation of $813,265.73.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz.
May I proceed, Judge?
Yes, ma'am.
13A, under Hidalgo County Purchasing Department, we're requesting approval of letter of engagement between Hidalgo County and Mary Lou Henry Real Estate Company for the provision of professional real estate services subject to compliance with House Bill 1295.
So
Move
move.
for approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 2A, consideration approving CARES Act Relief Fund expenditure to cover costs not accounted for in the current budget and cannot be funded by line item allotment or allocation for engineering services for the automatic doors at main and secondary entrances countywide project in order to assist the county public health expenses addressing the ongoing COVID public health emergency. The court, having reviewed the agenda item briefing, herein finds that such expenditure is reasonable and necessary for its intended use.
May I have a motion?
Move for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a
Second.
motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item B is requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code Section 262-024A4, professional service.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item C is, and it should be attached to your agenda, is the presentation of the scoring grid of the firms nominated last week, Alpha, Strata, and Half, to be graded and evaluated by the evaluation committee for the automatic doors and main and secondary entrances countywide project for the engineering. If the court would bear with me, since I'm having to do this remotely, I don't have the backup in front of me. If Commissioner Ellie would be so kind as to read out the scores, if she can, or whichever member of the court has access to that information.
I'd have to look it up. I know who the top one was.
Judge, are you able to view your?
I'm looking for it here. I had it.
Or Mr. Garza?
I had it, I can't find it, but let me see if I can find it here.
I apologize.
Oh,
Judge,
here.
Commissioners, the grid is as follows. If I have this correct, the evaluation committee results, and this is again for project number 2020-317, facilities improvement replacement of doors. You have a ranking for Alpha Infrastructure Engineering and Consulting, LLC, for a total of 449. Strata Engineering and Consulting, LLC, for a total of 464, and Half Associates, Inc., for a total of 471.
I didn't hear the last one, Mr. Guerra.
471.
471. Thank you very much. I'll have to go on to item D, authority for, how does the court wish to rank them in the order of their scores?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item D, authority for purchasing department to negotiate a professional services agreement with the number one ranked firm of Half and Associates.
Move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 3 is A, requesting authority to continue storage unit rental services, including approval of agreement with Danby Rentals, subject to compliance with Form 1295, effective 1/1/20 through the end of 2020, of $170 a month per unit, previously $145 for each of the following elected offices as posted on the agenda: district clerk, the tax office, and juvenile probation.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item B is approval of any and all short pays for all units for the Hidalgo County District Clerk, Tax Office, and Juvenile Probation Departments. Be processed after review and audit procedures are completed by the county auditor and authority for the county treasurer to issue checks.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 4, acceptance of an amendment to the consulting agreement for general consulting services, graphic design, and creative development services between Hidalgo County and Absolute Business Consulting Group for the purpose of clarifying the language in paragraph number 3. Could I have action?
Move for approval.
Second.
And this is for countywide. Anybody, the county precincts, anybody can
It
use
is
it.
countywide, although a couple of precincts have their own, but yes, this would be countywide.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 5A, requesting authority to exercise the 90-day grace period extension as provided in the current contract for Hidalgo County off-premises record storage with CTC Distributing Limited under the same rates, terms, and condition while the new bid process is completed and awarded.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Item B is requesting authority to advertise with approval of the procurement packet for that project, which is off-premises record storage, including the re-advertising if necessary.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item B for precinct 1, if Mr. Guerra can hear me, I would like for him to take that item up and he will understand. And I have also included the disclosure statement that I need to make on it.
Thank you, ma'am. Item B, under purchasing for precinct 1 is requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code section 262.024A4 professional service. If I could have a motion.
And move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
The subsequent item, B1, presentation of scoring grid for the purposes of ranking by Commissioners Court. The firms graded and evaluated through the county's approved pool of professional appraisal services for on-call precinct number 1 projects. And so for a total appraisal house, 98, Leonel Garza Jr. and Associates, 97, and professional appraisal services, 96.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
The court has ranked as stated, and item C would be authority for the purchase department to negotiate a professional appraisal service agreement commencing with the number 1 ranked firm of Appraisal House for professional appraisal services for on-call and as needed basis for precinct number 1 projects.
Move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion and second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Mr. Guerra. Item C, Precinct 4, requesting approval for final negotiated contract with Synergy Builders of Texas for the construction of the Lynn San Manuel Veterans Park. May I have action?
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 2 is requesting approval of First Amendment to Service Contract for Professional Architectural Services Agreement between Hidalgo County Precinct 4 and ERO Architects to extend the termination date to December 31st of 2020.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 3 is requesting approval of the First Amendment to Service Contract with Professional Architectural Services between Hidalgo County Precinct 4 and ROFA Architects Incorporated to extend the termination date to the end of the year.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 4 is requesting approval of the First Amendment to Service Contract for Professional Appraisal Review Services Agreements between Hidalgo County Precinct 4 and Professional Appraisal Services Incorporated to extend the termination to the end of the year.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item D1 under Constable Precinct 2, requesting approval to purchase 2020 Chevy Tahoe for membership and participation with the HGAC board contract awarded to Caldwell Country Chevrolet in the amount of $35,935, which includes the HGAC fee of $600 for the requisition as posted on the agenda.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item E1 for the Sheriff's Department, requesting authority to purchase online and/or DVD-based automotive repair database through Hidalgo County's membership in the Educational Service Center Region 4 awarded member Omnia Partners. So the contract is posted on the agenda. For All Data, a subsidiary of AutoZone, subject to compliance with Toll 95.
Ms. Marty, everything was cleared with the auditor's office?
Yes, this morning, the last item was.
Thank you.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item F1 countywide, this is requesting an approval of an addendum 1 to our current contract with ThyssenKrupp Elevator Corporation for the purpose of maintenance and repair of elevators located in county-owned buildings under the same rates, terms, and conditions, with county judge signature required upon approval. And this is to add an elevator in a recently purchased building, which was not under this contract.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
That is all I have.
Thank you very much, Marty.
Judge, Commissioners, with your permission, item 14A, 1 and 2, there is no action to be taken this week. Item 15, I will defer till after closed session. And we do have closed session, Judge, Commissioners.
Okay, pursuant to Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, Section 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, and 551.087 will be retired into closed session to discuss those items. Any action to be taken will be taken in open session when we return. I have a motion to retire into closed session.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Back from closed session, but before we take any action items, and we will take some action items, I want a motion to recess our Commissioners Court meeting to go into our workshop so we can come back and take care of that business. May I have a motion to recess?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We're now at recess. We've adjourned the workshop, and I call and reconvene the Commissioners Court meeting. And I believe we had item 12A.
Yes, Judge Commissioners. Item 12A is consideration and approval of a resolution authorizing publication of the county's notice of intent to issue certificates of obligation in an amount not to exceed $34 million, is authorized under state law for purposes of paying contractual obligations of the county to be incurred for certain projects and to pay for the cost of issuance of the certificates of obligation and making other provisions regarding matters incident thereto. Judge, Commissioners, our bond counsel, Mr. Jesus Shui Hinojosa, has reviewed the resolution and the notice of intent. We do recommend approval.
I think that's Jesus Ramirez, right? It's the bond counsel?
Yes, correct.
We have a motion and a second. I'm sorry. We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioners.
Do we have any action items resulting from our closed session?
Yes, sir. Judge, Commissioners, with your permission, item 18 under open session, 18A, real estate acquisition appropriation for same. There's no action to be taken today. 18B, pending and or potential litigation. There is no action to be taken today. Item 18C, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding response to public health emergency. Judge, Commissioners, I will refer back to item 15 in a second, or in about a minute or so. Open session, item D, CL 18-3678-A, Erasmo Garcia and Maria Elia Garcia versus Hidalgo County. Judge, Commissioners, we will proceed as directed. Item E under open session, 18E, notice of claim, David Kotsor as independent executor for the estate of Lillian Elizabeth Kotsor. We will proceed as directed. And Judge, Commissioners, for the record, the notice of claim is being facilitated by Ms. Josephine Ramirez's office at the District Attorney's office, as well as item D, Erasmo Garcia and Maria Elia Garcia. Item F, EEOC number 451-2020-02002, AB versus County. Judge, Commissioners, we will proceed as directed. Item G, 18G, TWCCRD number 1B19946, BG versus County. We will proceed as directed. Judge, Commissioners, if I may refer back to item 17A and 17B for the record, there is no action to be taken on item 17A and 17B. I will then now go back to item 15, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding county response to disaster health emergency 1 CARES Act funds. I do not believe that there's any action to be taken today, Judge, Commissioners.
Well, I think we discussed some use of those funds. As I recall, the move was
Counselor
as directed. Is that correct, Counselor?
That's correct, Judge.
Then my apologies, Judge. Item 15A1 CARES Act funds. Then then Counselor, with permission, will proceed as directed.
Yes.
Okay. Item 15B, measures necessary to preserve public health and safety. Judge, would you like to say a couple words with respect to the actions that we have been taking?
Say that again, Baldi, I'm sorry.
Measures necessary to preserve the public health and safety. Do you have any comments with respect to what the county has been doing?
Well, unfortunately, we've had a lot of our own county employees be infected with this disease. So it's been taking a tremendous burden on our ability, to function. We ask all of our citizens to continue to take the necessary precautions. Right now, basically, the governor has given us, one of the best tools that we can, which is using, facial coverings. We have been meeting with the hospitals on numerous occasions, with all of the hospitals' chief administrators. We've had telephonic meetings with the state of Texas, the Texas Emergency Management organization, in trying to reconcile the needs of the hospital with the things that we, the county, can do. I can tell you that we've had discussions about having a convalescence center, so we can be able to move patients away from hospitals to add capacity to the hospitals. We've talked about forming a completely full acute facility to help the hospitals where they simply have an overcapacity. All of these concerns and needs that we have are not as simple as just going to rent real estate or going to rent a vacant hotel. It requires licensing from the state of Texas. It requires proper management. It requires furniture, fixtures, and necessary equipment. It requires staffing. It requires food service and other services that are necessary to run these facilities. The most important one, of course, is staffing. And as you well know, at the request of the hospitals, the Hidalgo County, through my office, made a request to obtain staffing help for all of the hospitals a few weeks ago, and they did. So when you talk about opening a facility that's intended to have anywhere between 150 to 200 beds, it requires 3 shifts of people to take care of it. Finding 3 shifts of people to take care of that facility is not an easy task. So I ask all of the people that believe and think that the county is not cognizant of the needs of the hospitals, not cognizant of the needs of the people, they would be wrong in that. We have to move very cautiously. We have to move carefully, and we're seeking help from as many places as we can. As early as yesterday, Congressman Vicente Gonzalez brought in the people from Sumerian PERS, which is a Christian nonprofit organization that helped the city of New York with an acute care facility that they put in Central Park to help them with their overflow. Hopefully, we would be beneficiaries of that thing. So as we're trying to find out what the state of Texas can do for us, what the federal government can do for us, what nonprofits can do for us, we're trying to make sure that the limited resources that we have, we use them in the very proper place, use it for the greatest advantage of all. And we ask for you to continue praying for all of us that are in this situation, trying to make the best decisions. But believe me, there's not a single person, not a single commissioner, not a single employee of the Hidalgo County that's not dedicated to making your life better and safer. So with that, I thank you.
Judge, if I may, I'd like to thank you for your efforts. I know you've been working a lot of late nights and weekends. The hospital meetings that you had over the weekend, I think, were very productive, especially with the coordination with the state Department of Emergency Management. And I know at the top and the forefront of a lot of people's mind is the health and safety of their family, and most especially their kids. I know that you're going to be having a meeting later on this afternoon with schools and superintendents, and I want to make sure that you also highlight that we are extremely concerned about our kids going back to school, and that we're going to take every precaution necessary to try to work with our school districts to make sure that we make the best decision possible for their health and safety and for all of their families. So I appreciate that you coordinated that meeting for a little bit later today. And I encourage all the school districts to participate in that call, because this is the time to get your wish list out there and make sure that you express what your needs are so that we can go and make an informed decision on behalf of all of our local school districts. It's really important that we're all in this together. So we appreciate your efforts in trying to coordinate that on behalf of the county and the schools, and encourage you that anything that we can do as commissioners to support your efforts in this response, we're here to help you through this.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Thank you for reminding me of that. That is going to be an important meeting. I want everybody to understand that there are several rules, laws, and situations that kick in any decision that you made. We have federal rules and regulations, and we have state rules and regulations. And sometimes the state rules and regulations are different than the federal rules and regulations. So whenever we make a decision about anything, we want to make sure that we know all of the consequences associated with that decision. And that's why we're having this meeting with the school board presidents and superintendents, so we can make the best decision for the children of Hidalgo County. And that is the other reason that this county, even though some people are second guessing our decisions to make this, we felt it was extremely important that we have broadband out in the rural areas, because 1/3 of the people that live in Hidalgo County, and I'm gonna add that again, 1/3 of the people live out in the rural areas, which is a very large number of people. They make up a large number of the people that are going to our public schools. A lot of the people are elderly, and transportation is a problem. Sometimes they cannot get to a hospital. They cannot come to the hospital. So having telemedicine, having access to the internet is very important. As you know, all of the testing that's going on right now by the military, the best way that they decided to have it is to send it by email. And someone said, well, golly, some people don't have email. Well, you're going to be surprised that most people do have email. That's how important, broadband is to having it. And that's why this commissioners decided that was a good investment to be able to help our children, help our elderly, help everybody have the same quality of life that anybody in an urban area has. So I thank you, Commissioner, for bringing that up. Anyone else?
I would like to remind the public that we need their help. We need them to step up and to be responsible and to act in the best interest of their own family and for themselves. While we have a lot of authority to make decisions, at the end of the day, the power is in the people. The people have the power to change the direction of this virus by behaving responsibly, by adhering to the CDC guidelines and everything that we put out there, not just because we want to put it out there, but because it is proven that it will help us in dealing with this virus, as it was when we first had our shelter in place orders and we were able to keep down that outbreak. But again, the power is in the people. We need the people to take that willpower and do their part.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anyone else? Well, today's the last day to vote on the runoff election. Make sure that if you haven't voted already, be sure and go out and vote. And please, please continue to wear your face coverings. It's been proven to be a very effective way to help you keep from getting this virus. With that,
Judge, so that I can close just this last item on the agenda. Item 15C, direction regarding county government operations, complete but not limited to essential functions. Judge, you just stated we are abiding by the CDC guidelines, social distancing. We are wearing facial coverings here at work. We ask the public to do the same, as we have asked them when they're visiting our county operations or any of the departments, that they adhere to the social distancing as well as facial coverings. And with that being said, Judge, we continue to, again, the county is operational, but as this situation is fluid, we will adjust and make appropriate decisions based on the situation at hand with any department and or operational administrative function for the county and the services that we provide. And so, Judge, with that being said, after you adjourn, ask the court to adjourn Commissioner's Court, I'm going to ask you to please also adjourn, which I believe we did not do, adjourn the workshop as well.
The workshop was adjourned.
Oh, was it? Okay.
It was adjourned.
Okay. Then I am off today. That's more than 2 or 3 times.
Valde, you're entitled to a few senior moments because I know I am.
I'm getting there, Judge. So thank you.
Okay. Well, with that, I thank everyone for listening and paying attention to our meeting. Believe me, every single elected official, every single employee of Hidalgo County is working 24/7 for the benefit of our citizens in these very difficult times. And we thank you for your consideration. We thank you for your prayers, and we'll come out of this thing. We'll come out of it. So we thank you very much. And that concludes our meeting. So I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.